And I just remember being in my car and thinking like, I will never be in this situation again. I do not want to do entertainment anymore. I don't even want to sing. I literally was losing all the inspiration for every dream that I had ever dreamt of. I was just like really tired of this. And welcome back to Life with Lycette podcast. I am so excited you guys are here. Today we have a very, very exciting topic, and it's a question that I get asked all the time. But before we get into today's topic, let's go ahead and grab our drinks. Today's drink is by On the Rocks, a cosmopolitan crafted by F&M Vodka. Cheers. So good and so juicy. First, I have to shout out Solicit Cinema for giving us today's topic. So she asked why I left Hollywood and how I started social media. So this is something that I get asked about a lot. Like, what brought you to social media? How did you start? What was the one thing that like made you finally jump into it all? So the crazy thing is a lot of people don't realize that I have been in entertainment almost my entire life. So I started doing pageants when I was 4 years old, you guys, 4 years old. And I was having the time of my life. I was just like so in love with just being on stage and just like performing in front of people and doing interviews in front of people. I didn't even know what I was doing half the time, honestly, but I just knew that I loved it. So I started doing pageants all the time. And with each pageant, the judges that are there for these pageants are also like management. So they're agents, they're Hollywood agents, they're agents from like modeling agencies in New York. So it was just really cool to be put in front of these people. I took home like every single trophy, every single title. I was Miss America, Miss Tiny America for Las Vegas. I got the key to the city. I got to meet the governor. I got a letter from Bill Clinton to be invited to the White House. Okay. I'm just saying, I'm not tooting my horn, but toot, because your girl was working hard to make sure that I was being seen by the right people at such a young age. But I ended up getting signed with a management company, and that management company started sending me out to like commercials and auditions and like all these things, right? I ended up doing like Coca-Cola commercials, Barbie commercials, Mattel commercials, and working with such amazing brands. But all of that stuff kind of just kept leading me to bigger things. So as I got older, I started working more into modeling than acting. But I started doing like catalogs. I was in weekly newspapers. I was in like all these different things. I was on the back of like all the High Sierra jeans. I had like a huge billboard of myself inside of Mervyn's. Like I was only going to school like 3 times a week, I think at this point. And I was only 11, like 10 to 11 years old. So I say all that to say this. I knew that I wanted to be involved in entertainment, whether it was modeling, acting, dancing, singing, something. All the other cities in California, you were able to work at a young age, you know, for anything. Like literally, you could do anything back then. But when I got to Vegas, everything came to like a complete stop. Like I wasn't old enough to do trade shows. I wasn't old enough to do promo marketing. You had to be 18. So a lot of these agencies were, you know, trying to find out how they can market me to basically like pretend to be older than I really was. And so we went to see a couple agencies out here in Vegas, and it's just so crazy. This is how people would talk to me. I was told I needed lipo when I was like 13 years old. I was told I needed a nose job. I was told I needed to have surgery to have this removed from underneath my face. You guys, I wasn't even done growing. Like I was still a child. Like I was still growing up, and to have people like think that that was okay, like it's actually really detrimental to like your mental health, right? Like you're just thinking about all these things as a kid. You just want to go out and play with your friends and hop on a bike. And, you know, I was like the biggest tomboy growing up. So I was like half pageant queen up here, and on the bottom, I was wearing like soccer cleats or like basketball, you know, shorts. Like I was definitely doing both. But, you know, as a kid, you don't think about these things. And then to have like a adult tell you like, oh, you need to have a nose job when you're 11, 12 years old. Like I just didn't understand it back then. And now as a 37-year-old, I look back and I'm like, damn, like how was it okay for them to say that to me? And how were they okay, like with themselves thinking that that was okay for them to say to me, like, if that makes sense. But anyways, all of this basically led me to wanting to go in a different direction. So I started singing. I started dancing. I was going to LA like every weekend to just dance as much as I could and just get in front of the right people. And that actually led me to singing. I started actually singing like demos and stuff for people. So I did one for like Natasha Bedingfield. I did some demos for people like in Asia, in the UK, in Europe. And it was just such an exciting time in my life because I'm like, oh my God, like I'm finally getting to do something, now I'm old enough to do these things. And now I can like express myself through writing and start singing and like putting my music out there and letting other people hear my voice. And everything just quickly changed. So the guy that basically was helping me do all these things, I had told him, my biggest fear in this entertainment industry is somebody taking advantage of me. And we all know the things that are said about women in this industry. You either get thrown into things that you don't want to do. They basically intimidate you. They will basically do whatever it takes for them to get their way. And I just wasn't having that. And I told him that from the very beginning. So rewind a couple months like into it, I had my birthday and I just was not like interested in him. And I could slowly start to see that he started having like interest in me. And when I expressed that I didn't care about him like that, I noticed things started changing. And I was just like, okay, well, now I know I have to kind of distance myself. So I went to Vegas, came back for my birthday, didn't tell him I was back in town. And I was like, I want to have one last like hoorah with my friends before I tell him I'm here, because we were supposed to be working the next day. Well, he shows up at the same club that I went to with my friends, and he comes over to our booth. He literally grabs me, throws me on the floor. I know you guys didn't see this coming because I know it's like a lot. Like we're about to get dark for a second, but this was my reality at the time. And at the time I was like 22, 23. But he threw me on the ground in front of everybody. Not one person even offered to help me. Everybody was staring at me in the club. And he literally grabbed me by my arm and dragged me. Mind you guys, I'm in a dress and high heels. So I'm being dragged across the floor. Everybody's staring at me. Now I'm embarrassed. I'm crying, all of the things. And he's like, hey, like, I want my watch back that he gifted me for my birthday, which was like a Michael Kors watch. Not to say that that's not a nice watch, but I'm like, damn, it's not Cartier. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you're throwing me on the ground for all of this. But anyways, so I was like, you know what? Have your watch. So I take my watch off and I freaking throw it as far as I could, because I was like, you are treating me like I'm trash or like I'm an animal. And again, once we got outside, he threw me back on the floor. So of course I took off the watch. I threw it as hard as I could. And when he went to go get it, I ran. And I just remember being in my car and thinking like, I will never be in this situation again. Like I do not want to do entertainment anymore. I don't even want to sing. I literally was losing all the inspiration for every dream that I had ever dreamt of. And I was just like, I'm just like really tired of this. So at the time, or right after that, I actually started dating somebody who was already in YouTube. They were already involved in YouTube. They kind of already had a following. And he was like, why don't you just start your own YouTube channel? Like, this could be something that you control, and this could be something that's yours that nobody could take from you. And I was like, sold. So I signed up on YouTube and I started singing. Please do not go back and look at these videos. I'm telling you right now, please don't, because they're so embarrassing and so cringy. But I started with singing and then I went into makeup. And then after that, I was just like, you know what? I'm tired of doing these like makeup videos that nobody can actually hear my voice. They can't even hear me speak. And I have such a big and bubbly personality. So I started doing personality videos like skits and challenges and all that type of stuff. And my channel grew like 100,000 every year after that. And I just remember being like, I freaking struck gold. Like I finally am going to be noticed for things that are just me, 100% truly, authentically me. And nobody could take this away from me. So that's basically how I even started doing social media in the first place. Because if it wasn't for me going through all of that stuff that I, experienced as an entertainment, I wouldn't know how to edit. I wouldn't know how to film. I wouldn't be comfortable on camera. So all of those things really led me to like honestly be like a perfect creator, because now I am comfortable enough to talk on the camera with you guys and have this podcast going. If all of these things happen for a reason. And it's crazy, I'm just going to throw this out there right now. If you guys are struggling right now, if you're like, I want to get into social media, I just don't know where to start, I'm not even getting any views, I'm going to be the first to tell you, do not worry about that. All that you have to worry about is showing up, and just let your faith and let, your hard work pay off, because it will. If it wasn't for even going through the entertainment situation that I went through with this gentleman, I would not have come to YouTube at all. And you guys see my growth, like especially the ones who have followed me throughout this entire journey. You guys have seen like where I started and where I'm at today. So don't give up on your dreams, especially if you're wanting to be a creator yourself. Like every single downfall will lead you to something great. Like there's a lesson to be learned in anything that doesn't work out for you. I promise. And I know you may not see it in the moment, but it will happen. Just keep the faith and be consistent and just stay focused. Because I'm really, really grateful. Even though some of the things I experienced were not, happy, I'll go lucky, type situations, I'm actually really happy that I went through those because it led me to where I'm at today. So I just wanted to share that story with you guys. And shout out to Solicit Cinema for requesting this topic. And you guys, I have said this before and I'm going to say it again. We are using your guys' topics for each of our episodes. So make sure that you guys are commenting down below. It's time for us to spin the wheel right now. So let's go ahead and see what our next topic for the next episode will be. All right, so we have our next topic. The next topic is going to be life after marriage with Conrad. And shout out to Ojos de Reina. We are using your topic for the next episode. And that is it for today's episode. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure that you guys are liking this video, commenting down below, and be sure to be subscribed. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next show.